What's up everyone, Mike here, Garage and Homestead. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're doing an install on Tiny, our TYM 2515H. This product, it stewed from whenever I was pushing snow back during the winter time with Tiny, and there were some comments in that video saying that I needed some edge tamers. Well, honestly didn't know exactly what edge tamers were, so I did some research on them and seen on their website that one of their videos they had was using the edge tamers to kind of dress up their driveway. So I reached out to Rob and Ryan from R2 Manufacturing, and I chatted with them just a little bit about the edge tamers, about possibly using them for spreading some gravel, clean up the driveway, stuff like that, as a cheaper alternative to like a land plane. So they sent out a couple different products. Today we're going to do a video on the edge tamers themselves, and I'll show you those products and kind of go over why you'd want to use those and their benefit. And also we're going to spread some gravel in this video with the edge tamers. Now these edge tamers are patented. They're made right here in the US of A, in New York. They're designed, engineered by Rob and Ryan, and we're gonna give them a try in this video. So let's check them out. All right, so we've got instructions for the edge tamers right here, and it shows some of their accessories. So these products, from everything I've seen on their website, they have the edge tamer, and then they have a bunch of other products that complement or accessories to the edge tamers themselves. And they've got edge tamers for if you have a removable cutting edge like we do, or if you don't have a cutting edge at all, they've got edge tamers for those style of buckets as well. I know they've got a lot of different options for people if you've got these, or if you've already got these, there's some options there for making these things just that much more handy. Okay, here's what we need for that. So the edge tamers, they did send 3 of them. This is the style that you would need for a replaceable cutting edge like we got on ours. The other style kind of goes over the bucket and has a bolt that goes down and locks itself in that way. And these things are heavy. These aren't light, cheap. This is US steel. So these are going to last you quite a while. And if you spend a lot of time doing like snow removal in asphalt parking lots, driveways, concrete parking lots, stuff like that, they do have poly pad kits to put on the bottom of these. That's going to save your edge tamer from wearing out as fast. Okay, well, we've got the edge tamers here. We've got the hardware because they are going to take a longer bolt. These bolts do fit in this groove right here on the bottom side. So you're not going to have anything, you know, protruding out that you're going to be rubbing up against. They did send 3. I think for what we're going to do today, and I may be wrong, leave a comment if you know, but I think I want to put the outer 2 on the bucket for right now, because we're going to try to clean up some of the driveway, some of the high spots and stuff like that. And I think if you had an existing driveway with a decent crown in the center and you're wanting to take that out, you would want to leave that center edge tamer off. So the outer 2 shoes would basically run in the tracks of where you drive, and the cutting edge of your bucket would cut that crown out of your driveway. So I think we'll get the outer 2 installed and we'll start spreading some gravel with it. Also, I'll take it in the shop and kind of show you what these do, kind of how high it's keeping the cutting edge up off the ground. Let's go ahead and get these installed. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is pull the bolts out of the cutting edge, both ends, and if you want to do the center, you do the center as well. So let's go ahead and get those pulled out and we'll get them installed. Once these are off, toss it out of the way. You guys know me, anti-seize. I'm really surprised that the cutting edge, the replaceable cutting edge that they put on that, they didn't put anti-seize on the bolts. It's kind of upsetting. Okay, so that is in here. Good to go there. Got big, heavy, thick washers. And then this is either a 19 millimeter or a 3/4 half-inch bolt, basically, locking nut on that edge tamer. Okay. All right, these things are on. Let's go ahead and put Tiny back in the shop, set the bucket down, then you can kind of get a visualization of what these things are doing for your cutting edge. So you guys can see the bucket is flat. It is sitting down on the edge tamers like it should be. So let's see how high the cutting edge is off of this. Looks just maybe a little over 3/4 of an inch off the ground. Yep, about the same. So let me go ahead, fire the machine back up. We'll roll the bucket up and over, and you can see that cutting edge is never going to come in contact with the ground. The front of the tractor is off the ground. The edge tamers, you know, they're keeping that front edge off the concrete. So they're doing what they're designed to do. And at this angle, it's a little over an inch, about 1.25 inches is what it's holding it up off the ground. Now I would imagine if you're in a soft enough environment that if you tried hard enough, you could sink these edge tamers into the soil and get your cutting edge into the dirt. But I think for the most part, the edge tamers are going to do pretty good about keeping the cutting edge from really digging in. So we're up here by the driveway where I was pushing snow this winter. And you can see off in the yard, I do have a couple spots that I got gravel in. I believe if I had the edge tamers on, that wouldn't be an issue right now. Okay, let's get this thing fired up. First, I think I'm going to take off up the driveway and just see if I can cut off any high spots. Driveway still isn't level from this last round of gravel that we brought in. So it's pretty rough right now. So we'll see if this can't smooth it out any. Then we'll get in the gravel pile and spread some more gravel out, shove it around, see how well these things do for that. Now I'm not sure, should I be using these in the float function whenever I'm doing maintenance on the driveway, or should I just use it regular with a little down pressure, or what are you all's thoughts? Okay, that was just with a little down pressure. I'm gonna try to get in float mode. My only worry in float is the bucket might want to curl back, and that may kind of defeat the purpose of what we're trying to do. And this driveway isn't the best candidate for this. I don't have a nice crown. It's rough on both sides. So, but I'm gonna back up again. We're gonna try it in float, and if I see the bucket roll back, we'll stop it there, because that's kind of pointless at that point. Okay, bucket never seemed like it rolled. It is skidding across the top like it should be, but I think until this driveway gets a good crown to it, it's probably not the best candidate for this. As you can see, there's not much of a crown here. A couple places, right up in here maybe. Let's go a little bit further, and then we're probably going to call it for this driveway. Yeah, even though this isn't packed real good and we don't have a definitive crown, it still pulled what crown we did have out of that driveway. So, worked pretty good. Let me get down here and set y'all up by the gravel pile, and we'll see how it does for that. that wasn't the best scoop. I didn't have the edge tamers down like I should have, I don't think. Or they rode up on the gravel. I'm not sure yet till I watch the video and see. But I'm wondering on spreading this, if it would be best to just kind of dump some out and set the bucket down and just kind of bulldoze it and let whatever's going to come underneath it, or do I set it down low and tilt it forward and let that rock and stuff fall out and let it, you know, kind of go under it and just kind of push and spread as it goes. Since this is crusher run, I don't know. I'm not sure how well that's going to work for us. If it was washed rock, I think it'd probably work out really, really good. But let's try that first. Let's set the bucket down low, tilt this forward some, and I'll back up over here and we'll see kind of how much of it comes out. We've gotten a lot of rain, so this may not be the best test right here, because this may get a little clumpy because everything is so saturated. I don't know if you guys seen what happened. I had it in float mode, but I had the bucket curled down. Well, those front edges caught, and that's what made the tractor kind of drive up. So that's the wrong way that I should be using these right now. So let's get another scoop. Let's dump this out, scoop some of it out, and see if we can just kind of lay it flat and bulldoze part of it. Okay, so I think we'll dump it here and try to bulldoze it. But I did get to thinking just now, you could definitely back drag with something like this as well, and it's just going to hold your bucket up off the ground to help keep a thicker lay of gravel when you're going through it. So we're going to try that here in a second too. We'll back drag some of this and see how well it spreads it. You can tell, you've seen what it was like before, just the road mix that I had put down with screenings. It did put some rock down. Yeah, I think washed rock would probably do a little better job, but that did work. That worked just fine. There's probably an inch or so of rock stuck down through here. Let's get another scoop, dump it, and then let's back drag it. I'll dump it right up here and we'll back drag it right next to it and see how much different that looks. I'm gonna put it like that just because I know it's gonna hold that edge up just a little bit more. I think when we back drag, it's just going to lay a little bit thicker lay of rock. That actually did pretty decent. Okay, now that did make quick work out of spreading that and getting a consistent layer of gravel right through here. You can see where the edge tamers ride down closer to the actual ground. That's fine, there isn't any issue with that. But we got an even layer of gravel across here, and that literally just took a couple minutes to do. All right, everyone, leave a comment down below. Let me know how you think it did. I think back dragging, that laid down a decent layer pretty quick for us. You guys seen over on the rock pile, I was able to set this thing down on the ground, not really get into the topsoil at all, and just get a nice clean scoop of gravel. I'm really looking forward to having these things around. I think they're gonna help this winter when it comes to snow removal on the driveways and spreading gravel around. You guys have seen in previous videos, it does okay. Tiny does okay spreading gravel, but it's a little bit of a pain sometimes to keep in mind the distance of the cutting edge to the ground. And this, depending on how much you have it curled when you're back dragging, is going to depend how much of a gap you have in between here. So that's just going to basically, these last several times whenever I was spreading, I'd angle it where I wanted it, put it in float, and it would just kind of drag across the ground. These things will ride like shoes, and it would leave a nice layer of gravel out through here. So that worked out pretty good for us. But I appreciate you guys watching the video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.